Doing?
Всем привет и добро пожаловать.
Wrong language, my love. Okay, so it's a very happy day because this is the last day of the course, and congratulations to translators.
Yeah, thank you. One idea I had is if we keep talking too fast, we could try sequential translations instead of simultaneous.
Impossible.
Okay.
10 languages.
Uh,
The only way is to speak slowly.
Oy.
You cannot get away with this. It's okay, my love. Even JB, he speaks slowly now.
Well, how about Ben? Does Ben speak slowly now?
He does not teach ACI.
Nobody translates him anymore.
Natasha Loginova does. Only his mixed up. Actually, he's pretty good. He actually really slowed down. Okay.
For the Ukrainians, we have kvass. I'd never had it before. It's really good.
You know, very fancy.
It's a malt beverage. It's like beer without the alcohol. It's very tasty for people who don't know. Ina found a store that carries it and she was very excited.
Yeah,
says,
it's
we have
old
kvass.
Kiev kvass in Chicago. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
This is what your seeds can do.
Yeah.
I think, you know how I planted it? I was bringing grechka, you know, Ukrainian buckwheat, and Ukrainian stuff to France when I moved to to other people.
There's a whole section in our local grocery store of Russian and Ukrainian food. So you can get not just grechka, but like 6 different types of grechka. Nice.
Okay. Let's set up the motivation for the class. Close your eyes. Think about. Let's actually do quickly 7 ingredients. Visualize your lama, your teacher, your spiritual coach, your guide, whatever you name, in front of you. There are actually 2 ways. You can either visualize them in the air, like in a body of light, or just in front of you, very close, physical, like you can feel the warmth and the fragrance of their body. You can feel they are looking at you with love. And then think about the good quality of your teacher or your spiritual coach that you want to develop yourself. Maybe you want to meditate like they do. Maybe you want to be kind or compassionate, wise, loving. And just appreciate this quality, bow down mentally to this quality and make a wish to develop in you. Then offer something to your teacher. Maybe at this class, the fact that you will be attentive and you will do the homework. Or the fact that you are translating or helping with the class, whatever you are doing. Maybe something else. Traditionally, we offer the sky full of flowers. Now think about something that you have done recently, maybe within 24 hours, that you are not proud of. And tell your teacher that you have done it. Silently tell them. And see that they are not surprised, because a good teacher always knows. But they encourage you not to do it anymore, because you will hurt yourself. Now think about something cool that you have done within the last 24 hours. Maybe you helped somebody or didn't get angry. Maybe by now you see that your teacher is raising up in the air, and now you can really see they have their body of light. Shining, glowing. Ask them to stay with you and continue teaching you. Traditionally, they would say, continue turning the wheel of Dharma. Which means that they teach you. Imagine that they get small in size, fly and stay just a little bit higher than your head, on the top of your head. Shrinks even more, like to the size of shining grain of rice. Ask them to bless you, to change your capacities, for you could understand more, practice more, help other people more, and visualize that they are entering your body through the tip of your head, through your crown, and end up in your heart. They will be always there, accessible, available, teaching you, helping you. And ask them to change your capacity, for you could meditate regularly and get all the insights that you need to become an enlightened being. And with 3 exhales, give away the seeds from listening to all these classes, from all your work you have done in this course already, and you will do after. Give it away to everybody you love with the first exhale. Golden light comes out of your chest and golden rays reach every single person you love and help them. With the second exhale, golden rays of light fly to every single person on this planet, and they realize how the things work. And they can help themselves. And with the third exhale, send it to everybody in this universe, countless beings. Go back to your breathing, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Yeah, we have a strange thing now. Looks like Bill will be translating me into Russian.
Not quite ready for that yet, but.
Okay,
Right.
So let's go on. Just a short reminder, quick reminder, we finished with 3 parts of Lamrim, and the first one was shared with people with lesser capacities. And a very important idea is to meditate on your death, which we have to do also, even if we try to think of ourselves that we are of greater capacity. But you will not be really motivated until you will realize that the death is certain. You don't know when you will die, and only these teachings will help you the next moment after you die.
Yeah, that was the, at the end of the class, we covered the death meditation and the 4 laws of karma, which are items particularly important for people of lesser scope.
Yeah, the 4 laws of karma is the second subject that we take, and we use it with any scope, right?
And lesser scope people, if you recall, are ones that are working for next life. And I think if you were to walk around the United States, probably most of Western Europe also, and if you asked people what they were working for more, this life or next life, I think you'd have a hard time finding somebody who would honestly answer next life. And so, they're lesser scope, but, if they've really got it, they believe in the laws of cause and effect. They believe that their consciousness is going to continue on. They will treat people nice. It's lesser only in the context of what it's getting compared to. So.
Yeah. And I want to say a couple of words about another Geshe Michael's project that is called DCI, Diamond Cutter Institute, because I remember I was confused myself why here in ACI we say that the motivation for us to work and practice here starts after I die, right? And then DCI comes in place, and they say, oh, you can make more money, you can use these teachings and get your partner, you can improve your relationship, you can be healthy, you can have more energy, you can have your peace in mind, like here, now, I mean, couple weeks, half a year, something like that. And then people, they get confused. And any confusion is good because it makes you think.
I think that's a very good point. And I think they will do that to you intentionally at times, give you something that.
They and us also.
Yeah, they will give you a piece of food that's too big to swallow. And you have to chew on it a long time.
Yeah, sometimes I was chewing for 5 years, sometimes 10.
Yeah, years.
Yeah, so don't get, how to say, discouraged. there is a lesson. If you see that something is coming from a person you trust already, and it is controversial, contradictory, don't be in a hurry to judge, because it means that there is something you do not understand, and you're a little bit too young to understand the next level. Like it's same to explain to a smart boy or girl in the kindergarten that know how to read something about, I don't know what, mathematical analysis, right? Or like some very advanced theories in physics, quantum physics, etc. So maybe it's not yet the time, but they want you to think and to get it.
Yeah, I struggled quite a bit when Geshe started teaching people how to use this to make money. I'm like, oh boy, where's, the three principal paths. Renunciation's the first one. That was day one. And now you're telling me I can make money? It's like, oh. And so
what is the answer? Criticize Geshe Michael.
Yeah, criticize, complain mightily.
and complain.
and see what happens.
And then nothing good happens.
And so, yeah, I struggled with that for quite a bit. And then there ends up being an answer. And I will go ahead and tell them what the answer is. I will. Sometimes people will make you sit and think about it, because the answer is more meaningful to you if you figure it out for yourself. But it's two things, right? It's for people who are not ready for the lower scope, right? People who aren't ready to work for next life. Gain some confidence in cause and effect. And then once they get their money or their partner or their health, then they ask, well, okay, what next, right? Human dissatisfaction will drive them to keep looking at that point. But there's a higher way, right? So that's the pre-Buddhist level. But if you're on the Vajrayana path, if you're going to get out in one lifetime, you have a lot to clean up. There will be a lot that a lot of people generally have to go through to clean it up. It's a lot of work. A lot of old negative seeds will ripen. But once you get past that phase, things start getting better. If you're going to get enlightened in one lifetime, that's completely free of suffering in one lifetime. So it's not like it goes horrible, 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 and then instantly better. I guess for some people it could, but generally not. Generally, you'll go through a phase where you clean out your old negative karma, and then things steadily start getting better and better. And you could read How Yoga Works is a pretty good, that's an open book that you can read. And, things for Katrin by the end of it are starting to get surprisingly good right before. So what was it? Tuesday, yeah.
Lobsang is Tuesday, no?
The main character of How Yoga Works.
Yeah,
I haven't read the book in 10 years or more. Tuesday.
Her name was after the day she was born.
All right, named after Tuesday. And so anyway, two different things.
And it may, for people who practice already ACI, DCI is very powerful, because you realize that you can practice everywhere at this path, not only on a meditation cushion, not only when you do your homeworks and quizzes, but actually the whole world is your laboratory, right? So this is, I was not attractive at all to DCI in the beginning, and then ended up teaching it.
Yeah.
Because realized how valuable it is.
Yeah, I wasn't attracted to it either. Now I find it quite useful.
Yeah, so let's go. The second capacity is medium, right? Or what?
Mhm. Yeah, medium.
Difference, yeah. So what is the difference between lesser, medium, and greater capacity, right? Once you die, then this difference starts.
So people of lesser capacity are working for the next life. They don't want to be reborn any lower than a human. They don't want to go to the realms where the suffering is more intense, which are the hell realms, the hungry ghost realms, and the animal realms. They're shooting for, at the very least, to come back to a human realm, maybe form realm or formless realm.
Mhm.
So that's the people of lesser capacity. The
Medium capacity, they want to avoid rebirth at all. And I remember I had difficulties with this because I was like, what? I do want to be reborn because my childhood fears we had very different fears. Like his fear was that he will have to meet the consequences of his actions. My fear was that I will not be born again. So for me, like, oh, rebirth, great. And I could not realize why it is bad. And actually, it's bad because, how to say, you do not have to be born to live. This is important to understand because you cannot stop yourself from being alive. You were never able to. The birth is putting you in a cage that you cannot escape for a while, right? And then there are conditions of this cage that are unpleasant, right? And if you are put already in this cage, then you have to die. Like this is what the birth is actually for a human. So when you stop you from these rebirths, actually you get free. But you do not stop being alive. This is important to understand. Your mind is eternal. It will not. It will never stop seeing new pictures. And
this is nirvana that we were talking about, right? Before, the difference between nirvana and enlightenment. And so this would be specifically nirvana without remainder, where you don't have the old seeds that are creating a body. You're just in the peace of having no mental afflictions, and you've worn out your old negative mental seeds. And so you're just kind of in a peace. You're outside of samsara, but you still have obstacles to omniscience, and you still haven't achieved all of your goals. And so they say that actually you'll end up having to be woken up and go back to finish out and reach full enlightenment, which is people of the greater scope. That's what they're going for, is full enlightenment. They're trying to really reach enlightenment for the sake of every living being.
Yeah, exactly.
They're trying to get out of samsara, and they want to take every living being with them. And there's a debate in different schools of thought. Different traditions will debate whether that's even possible. Can you save other people? And in our tradition, we're convinced that you can.
Because they're coming from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and from every single scope, we also take something useful that we use as people of a greater scope. And from this one, we take the teaching on the wheel of life, right? Then what next? Greater capacity or Mahayana, right? People. So, in order to reach these two lesser scopes, you need to get renunciation, right? And renunciation, it means that you are smart enough to see that what's going on right now, it's pretty hopeless. And you understand that however smart and, I don't know, wealthy you are, you have to die. And everything you can get in this lifetime will just disappear for you, right? even if you will go somewhere, place nice, like, what is the reason to have like 100 billions, right? If you have 20 years, it's as stupid as it can get.
And people of the people of the medium scope share the same values that the people of the lesser ones do. You know, they still believe in the laws of karma, and they're still aware that they're going to die, and they don't want to suffer after they die. It's just that and then the people of the greater scope, well, they want to get out of samsara altogether, and they believe in karma, and they know that they're going to die. It's just that they want to bring everybody with them. So it's not exclusive to each one of the scopes. Each, as you go higher, you retain what you learned at the lower ones.
Yeah. And basically, bodhicitta is renunciation that you spread on every single living being. This is what it is. So I understand I have problems. I have my sufferings in my life. And other people, they have the same. I mean, there's nobody who does not suffer. And it gives you this desire to help everybody else.
And I think everybody here by now should probably know that bodhicitta, the short definition of that is the desire to reach total enlightenment for the sake of every living being, right? So it's not just you getting out.
Okay, so then there are two parts of this part that is shared with practitioners of medium capacity, has also two parts as we go through these lists. And one is how to develop. You are developing a wish to stop this suffering existence through achieving freedom. And the second part is you actually learn how to do it, how to gain this freedom.
Yeah, they just totally want to get out of samsara, and they're learning how to do it. One thing that I wanted to say, Jim Lowenhau had a pretty good point I saw online recently. And, you know, we talk about these big things like, excuse me, like the direct perception of emptiness and nirvana and enlightenment and all of these really grand events that you can probably only see intellectually, right? And so that doesn't mean that you aren't making progress before you've reached shamatha or before you've had the direct perception of emptiness. Like most of your progress throughout your spiritual career will be day to day, right? It'll be, well, you know, I caught myself with a mental affliction and I stopped myself before I let it run away. I was only angry for an hour instead of 2 hours, which I mean, literally it's a victory, right? And then you cut that down to half an hour and 15 minutes, but that's progress. That's real progress that you'll have. And that comes before the major milestones that we're talking about. And so just because you haven't reached one of the major milestones doesn't mean that you aren't making progress. You are. And you should be happy when you do that. That, you know, like I caught myself, right? I used the teachings to stop myself from planting negative seeds that I didn't want.
We had the discussion this morning, yesterday, and I was thinking, you are so right. I mean, the big breakthroughs, right? We know what they are, like seeing emptiness directly. But it doesn't happen that nothing happens, and then, whoop, I have seen emptiness directly. No. You can see this progress, as Bill said, that you are less angry, you feel more compassionate, and you will have this small realizations like, oh my God, I was never compassionate even to myself. Oh my God, this is how meditation, like real meditation, looks like. Oh my God, I have been able to withdraw from my sensations for half an hour. I didn't know what's going on around me, right? I was totally in my meditation. and these small things, they build up, and then and you have your breakthrough.
Yeah,
You will do all the work before.
there's a reason why it's called the 5 paths and not the 5 big events, right? It's a path that you walk, and you're making progress before you reach the big events. So
then the next question we should discuss is about suffering, because today I decided to listen again to Geshe Michael's original class. Boy, they were horrible in this wild New Yorkers. Can you imagine a high Lama lands in New York out of all the cities, you know?
an Arya, he's already an Arya at this point.
Yeah, and I have seen this movie with Schwarzenegger. He was like a Greek god, Hercules, just by chance landed in New York, you know, and I was like, boy, it's almost same, you know, in the middle of New York, you have this guy surrounded by wild New Yorkers, you know, selfish, greedy, you know, like just human beings, thinking about making money, and or how can I not make money but still survive, and you know, I don't know, use my credit cards wise or something like that. And they meet this being Geshe Michael, and they interrupt him like every 10 seconds, like, what? You say that I cannot drink wine, even a little bit, even a sip? You say that it is because it is influencing my mind, but what if I drink very little that does not influence my mind, you know, and all this like trading, you know, like come.
What if I had just a little poison? I don't want a lot of poison, I just want a little poison.
Yeah, that little, that little, or that little. That was like, I don't know how he survived.
I took it, frankly, I took it as a lesson to me, right? As a warning to me to behave when I was around. You know, like particularly, you know, when I was first listening to the classes, it was 24 years ago, right? And the idea of respecting a teacher was,
they call him Mike.
yeah, right. Like the idea of trying to respect a teacher the way that Tibetans respect a teacher was a very, like, literally foreign idea to me. And so I saw that, and it like, oh yeah, okay, don't be that guy, right? So
yeah, so they were particularly unhappy with the fact that he said that, you know what, everything you have in your life is suffering. And they were like, what?
oh yeah,
I'm not suffering.
yeah.
I'm a New Yorker.
Well, yeah, and there you're trying to undo the conditioning of a lifetime by the media and the advertisers. And some of the, you know, the brightest minds in the United States have been continuously trying to convince you that
Everything is great.
that consuming is the path to happiness, right? And so
I will buy a little bit better telephone and will be happy. Like yesterday, my son told me that I need nice watches. Then okay, maybe I do need. I looked it up, $3,000. Okay,
well,
maybe I don't.
and yeah, an endless rabbit hole to go
But
down.
what if I will have these watches? Can you imagine how beautiful my life will be?
Perfect. Yeah, wonderful.
Or maybe one more ring. By the way, I have 10 fingers, only 2 rings, my love. So
for me, it was food at first, because I enjoyed cooking and eating. And then it's like, well, how is food not pleasure, right? I really enjoy a meal. And then we would go through things like I'd encountered these ideas at school. And then this was fairly straight up. They would say, well, you know, if it was the one that wasn't that convincing for me, is they would say, well, you know, if food was inherently good, if the pleasure was in the food, you could just keep eating it and it would always make you happy. But it changes, right? So like you start and at first it tastes really good.
Mhm.
And then, like when you take, let's say, a bite of steak, and first bite, oh my gosh, that's good. Second bite, good. Third bite, good.
Mhm.
But if you've eaten a kilogram of it, now it's just making you sick, right? And so it changes. It's not going to be able to stay that way. And but even before you get to that point, the only reason that it tastes good is because you hurt from hunger. It's a pain that you're relieving, right? And so, but those ideas didn't really do it for me as much, because you still had to eat. And it was, and Geshe-la's answer for this was always, well, people say, do you like eating? He would always be, well, yeah, I don't like pooping. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that's with one comes the other, right? Which is it's a pretty good point, right?
What was the movie? Lucifer. There was I was watching with my son this
Netflix
special Lucifer, several seasons, and Lucifer's mom, she took a human's body and decided to visit him because she was missing him. And then she comes to him and she says, boy, I have seen these humans. You know what this body does?
Yeah.
And she was really like
horrified,
disgusted.
You could imagine if you were relieved of it, which, right, enlightened beings don't have to poop, right? And then
even gods in higher realms, they don't have to forget about enlightened beings. Not everybody has to do it.
Yeah, right. I mean, it'd be pretty, like if you were free of it, and then all of a sudden you had it, it would be horrifying, right? I'm going to have to do that the rest of my life. No, it's worse than cancer, right? It's like, oh no, I'm gonna.
Then you just get used to it.
Well, that's the problem with being humans, is you get used to these horrible conditions.
The problem with being a human, sorry, translators, I know that we are talking in a dialogue, and it is very difficult to translate. But this is the whole issue, right? That we are getting used to everything.
Yeah.
And we stop seeing it as a problem, and then we cannot change it.
And food itself is a nightmare, right? Like we have this idea, the word in English is a ghoul. And a ghoul is a special type of monster that hangs
like a
out.
Vampire.
Well, a ghoul is very specific. It's something that hangs out at a cemetery, and it waits to eat dead flesh. And oh my gosh, right? I mean, like it gets all packaged up and neatened up, particularly in the United States, right? But we're eating dead flesh. It's horrible. It's a nightmare. I mean, like we are ghouls. We've just gotten used to the idea, right? And
I mean, we are not anymore, kind
of. But particularly, anyway, we can go on and on. So is food suffering? But even if none of that does it for you, even if you're happy eating dead flesh and dealing with the process that happens afterwards, if you're happy with the pain of hunger and the pain of food turning into nausea if you keep eating it, even if you're happy with all that, the biggest problem, the inescapable problem is
you will lose everything you have.
You can't even hold on to that, right? Even that's going to get lost. It's and so everything you build here, this relationship, I mean, even if we get enlightened in this lifetime, it won't be Ina and Bill that gets enlightened. This bag of meat isn't going to a Buddha paradise, right? You're going to lose it all. So if that doesn't bring you down, no problem with agitation in your meditation at the moment, right? So
either you have directly you have just the outright pain, right? Or you will lose what you like or what you love. You will lose everybody you love, just get it.
Yeah.
And if I know it is unpleasant to think about it, but you logically can see that it's true.
Yeah.
You will lose everything. You will lose even your own body. And the moment you will lose it, you will lose your name, you will lose your gender, you will not be human anymore. And you do not really know where you will go. This is the problem.
Yeah, there will come a day when somebody opens up the box of pictures of you, the last ones, and nobody will know who you are and they'll throw them away, you know, and so yeah, everything's, you're gonna lose it all. Might as well go to someplace beyond that, or if it's possible, or at least if that idea is too much for you at the moment to accept, it's worth considering, right? Because people are saying you can get beyond death. And right now, as it is, things are hopeless. So it's a chance, right? It's like
You have nothing to lose.
yeah, nothing to lose, right?
Because there are no other options actually.
If they're right, you have everything to gain. And if they're wrong, which they aren't, but if they are, then you really don't have any, you're not going to lose anything that you weren't going to lose anyway on this path. So
yeah, and the last suffering is at any time, at any point of this horrible samsaric cycle, you can get all the bad things, like any out of bad things, because we have these seeds, unfortunately. So straight outright suffering, suffering because good things will end, and suffering that at any point you're not protected.
pervasive suffering.
All pervasive suffering.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. On a slightly different subject, we would like to thank all our volunteers because we do not want to forget that we really love you. We want you to be happy and stay with us, and we will continue talking to you. We promise. So we will be back from Baltimore. And if you are interested to become a volunteer, you can contact Elena Smirnova. She will send you a link right now in the chat, I guess. Yeah. And this will help us to reach out to more people to share this priceless, beautiful knowledge, right? That we give away for free. So it's a good deal. Okay, next.
Okay.
Let's go to the 3 trainings. So we are in the meditation course, and we are talking about the object of meditation. And it was not really clear to me, honestly. I don't know. Right now, I'm horrified, like the dull mind I had at that time, because it was all like foggy. I could not tell you why he is talking about plum rims at this point, you know, like now it's all clear. Because these are all good objects for meditation, like your death is a good object for meditation because it will be fuel for your practice. You will not be deceived by these bright pictures. I mean, maybe you live somewhere in a war zone and you do not have bright pictures. In a way, in a bad way, you're lucky because you do not have this illusion. You're not delusioned, right? Here we have the best pictures you probably can have on this planet. I mean, you don't see it, but the weather is beautiful. We have a lake with white sand, beaches, like, I mean, space, enough space for everybody to be there, right? Like, not many people are going to the beach. we have this cicadas that are singing, you know, all day long. Life is pretty good here, right? But then it doesn't contradict the fact that I'm dying every second. I just do not notice it. My life energy is wearing out every second, and it is becoming even visible. Like I have wrinkles, and I have some health issues, right? So it is very important to meditate on your death than the pain of these three pains, right? Or the pain of the cycle, why it is bad to be anywhere, you know, in the cycle. Anywhere you may go, it's not a great idea. Actually, the fact that you are human is your lucky ticket, because here you can get out of this train of death, you know. So, and then we come to the way how you do it, and this is why he talks about these three trainings, which are, the first one is ethics, right?
Yeah, morality, concentration, and wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the question is, why did they start with morality?
Yeah, and I actually do not like the word morality.
Yeah, it's the accurate word. Like the mafia has a code of ethics. You know, they say, well, we will not rat each other out. We will not tell on each other.
They have a code of business conduct.
Yeah, well, technically it's a code of ethics, right? Like they have a set of rules that they've agreed to. Now, it's not a moral set of rules, but it's their set of ethics. Like around these people or in their group, that's the way you behave. Now, the problem is morality has been abused and, you know, as a word, and so it has, unfortunately, a negative connotation. It has negative associations with it as to people telling you you're not moral, right?
Yeah.
And so
I want to say what moral is in Buddhism, in these teachings. Oops, I did it. In this lineage, because it's not obvious. It is considered to be moral when what you do will return as a good thing to you.
Yeah, it's that simple. If you'll get a positive result from the action you take, it's moral. If you get a negative result from the action you take, it's not moral. And so that's
yeah, not to confuse with, you know, like, oh, behave, you know, do this, don't do this because it's written somewhere. No, the issue is you will get a bad result.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is why it's not good for you.
It's the whole reason why there is such a thing as morality.
Yeah. So why is they mentioned the first one? You want to do this one? Or?
It'll be pretty, this one's an easy concept to grasp, because without morality, you won't be able to concentrate. And then if you can't concentrate, you won't be able to reach wisdom, right? If you've got a lot of problems from killing or stealing, or, you know, if you're having problems with your partnership because of sexual misconduct, or, you know, any of the, particularly the 10 non-virtues, they're
10 good deeds.
10 good deeds, right? If you're not doing the 10 good deeds, if you're doing the 10 non-virtues instead
10
of
bad deeds.
10 bad deeds, instead of the 10 good deeds, you will, you're going to have problems, and the problems will keep you from meditating. It's just that simple. So
yeah, and when you see we are like 10 non-virtues, 10 good deeds, it's actually what's going on. It's like second
old guy
versus third turning of the wheel of Geshe Michael.
Old guy versus newer lady. I've still got the original ACI terms pretty much in my head.
Yeah, because Bill was taking this New York courses, right? And Geshe Michael was teaching like strict in Tibetan manner, you know, like it was not traditional Tibetan, because traditionally, of course, they do not do homework quizzes and they don't give you like meditate 3 times on this, 3 times on that. It's kind of very sophisticated what Geshe Michael did for us. But it was like still in traditional terms, and he himself changed these terms several times. And I would say you should know all of them. Like you should know 10 non-virtues if you really want to make progress in these teachings and go far. You should know all the terms. You should know 10 non-virtues and 10 good deeds, which replaced 10 non-virtues, because people do not like to think negatively, right? And the virtue has this religious connotation, then 10 good deeds sounds better. This is why. So we will keep arguing on the terms. Don't worry, it's normal. We usually do every day. Okay, let's go. The next, yeah. So we're talking about 3 trainings, and morality comes the first. Then there are a recollection and watchfulness that have something to do with morality, right? And I mean, why we are talking about it and how they are related to other trainings, right? Like to meditation and wisdom training.
Yeah, this is one of the, if you recall, samadhi is the ability to take the focus you've developed on the cushion, off the cushion. Like samadhi is the ability to focus on something, and that's the more general term for it. Shamatha was going through the 9 stages, and when you reach shamatha, your samadhi off the cushion gets particularly strong. And so the way you saw that in retreat is everybody was kind. Everybody was nice. Everybody had been meditating. Everybody would catch themselves with a mental affliction early. And so when you interact with them, there was no anger, there was no jealousy. And then you come out into the world and you see it again, and it's shocking, right? Because they had used recollection and awareness to eliminate their mental afflictions off the cushion. And it helps you with your morality. It's extremely powerful. So that's recollection, he's calling it the ability to stay focused on something, and awareness is when you realize that you've gotten off the subject and you bring it back on. And you'll see when you meditate, you'll develop these skills, and it's fun.
Yeah,
it's powerful.
And the reason, I mean, why they're talking here, like we were not talking yet about meditation, right? We were talking about ethics, 10 good deeds. The reason why you actually start developing this recollection, which is Trengpa, right? The meditation muscle, bring the subject back, the object of the meditation. You bring, actually what happens, you do not bring object from somebody, but you actually bring the subject. You bring yourself to the object. So Drenpa is this meditation muscle, and alarm, din din din, I'm doing something wrong, is the same that the alarm that you have in meditation. So actually, when you start to do your 6 times book, I hope you're all doing your 6 times book, because this is the most powerful tool to stop all your problems altogether, because you will see why you actually have these problems. And we can claim that it works because we did completed many books, and it really works. Nowadays, I don't do the book, I have it on my phone, but time to time, it's actually cool, and classy, like, okay, I will do it again in the book. And I mean, if you do not have any vows, you can just start watching your 10 good deeds, like do you protect life? Do you protect wife? Do you protect wife? Do you protect other people's possessions, like other people relationship? Are you respectful, right? Do you say always the truth? You connect people, you use soft words, you do not you're not engaged in anything useless talks, activities, etc. You are happy when other people get what they want. You are compassionate when other people they do not get what they want, right, or lose something, and you know the correct worldview. You can observe this then, start watching it, and it will help you to start meditating also. I mean, it's very powerful tool. This is why we have it here. Genpan session. Recollection, like, oh, I actually should not get angry. I actually should not yell. Oh, I remember I had something on this point. And the session is din din din, you're getting angry. Din din din. Okay, next one. What are the two parts to the steps of the path that are shared with practitioners of the greater scope? So we came to the Mahayana scope, actually, and there are two of them. Learn how to think like a bodhisattva and learn how to act as a bodhisattva. And that's a great picture. Thank you to Alina who put the slides together, because I'm convinced that this is why these superhero movies are collecting billions of dollars, because people, they like to see superheroes, and people, they like to feel that they can change something on a greater scope, right? And you do not have to be a president or even a military guy, you know, to save this planet. If you understand the teachings correctly, you will get all the instructions in ACI, just stay with us. You will be able to be the guy who saves everybody, or the girl. Okay.
All right, acting like a bodhisattva. So there's two parts. There's the open teachings, and then there's the secret teachings.
Oh, how we ended up here with secret teachings, I wonder.
I don't know. So what do we, so
what should we share?
Can we tell them that they're secret teachings, or are they too secret to tell them they're secret teachings?
I think it's not a secret to tell that they're secret.
Okay. I will, so what open, so taking care of people, right? That's pretty obvious, but it's not all that secret, like what the two stages of the secret practice are. So we've told about it before.
We told them before, we can do it again.
We've done it before. So just in case, I don't know how, I mean, I will say this in a more general way. Do your homeworks. Do all 18 courses. Get to the secret teachings. They're cool. So much that we're talking about now will be so much more meaningful to you then. And it's really cool. It all fits together. And you'll see when we get there, there's unbelievable stuff, really cool stuff that's there.
But we will not tell you which one.
Well, no, you got it. It goes in order for a reason. Well, we're not wasting your time. It's not like we have some kind of great answer for you, but you have to jump through a fiery hoop of, you know, a wheel of fire or something, because that's entertaining to us. It's not like that. You need to understand karma and emptiness before you move on to applying it. the secret teachings are about applying it. And it's how you're going to get enlightened in one lifetime, right? You remember, like, if you stay on the Bodhisattva path, you don't have to do the secret teachings. You don't have to. It's going to take you 3 great eons, which if you don't,
long.
yeah, kind of long. Or you can go on the secret path and maybe 1 lifetime, maybe 7 lifetimes, maybe 21. But compared to 3 great eons, it's that much faster. And so it's
to which extent you have to understand karma and emptiness. If 4 a.m. in your city, you hear rockets, missiles, and explosions, the first thing that should come to your mind, oh, bad seeds. This is how. Because when you will get to secret teachings, you can compare it to like more powerful, I don't know, vehicle, right? You were driving, then you are, I don't know, flying on a plane, and then you're flying on a spaceship. And imagine what will happen if you do not know where to direct this spaceship. It will be a disaster.
That's a pretty good analogy, because obviously, if you're going to get enlightened in 1 lifetime instead of 3 great eons, your karma is going to be going a lot faster. And if you haven't purified your mind with morality, an awareness of what is morality, what are ethics, before then, it just blows up. And so, and I've seen that. I've seen people fail dramatically because they didn't understand the process. So please do your homeworks. I personally will not teach anybody the advanced teachings unless you've done all 18 ACI courses and the homeworks and the meditations. It's just useless. It's won't do it. Won't make exceptions because I care about you, because I don't want to see you get hurt. The way I've seen other people get hurt when they were taught how to speed up their karma and weren't ready for it. So, but do it. It will be fun. And it takes a lot of goodness, frankly, to get the teachings.
Yeah, this is actually very important. I was just talking today to a lady who is doing our classes, and she told me that she has difficult time to complete, the homeworks and the quizzes and stuff like that. And you have to do it. I mean, otherwise you will just have to go through all the sufferings again and again. And I mean, useless, right? Better to do something. And what you can do, you should get a karmic partner, somebody who will be doing ACI classes, like more or less same level as you, maybe not really the same level, but you need to have the body, to do it together. If you have your body to do ACI courses, you will get it done. If you have big obstacles, you need to become a volunteer. I mean, I had big obstacles. I felt it right away. I was translating everything I could for these teachings. I was, of course, not getting paid. ACI is a non-commercial project. We are not getting paid for these classes. By the way, if you want to thank us, please do it via ACI portal. They are asking for regular donations because this is the way the headquarters, the whole organization can support itself. They do not do commercial projects. They need charity money from us, donations. So if you want to thank us, subscribe to ACI 30-30-30 projects. I donate personally to this project. You also donate, right?
Lots.
To this project. Just follow our example, and if you think that we have done something meaningful to you. Don't pay us, pay them. Okay.
And since I don't know people personally and haven't seen you live, I did finish all 18 ACI courses and all 18 of the advanced courses. And when we were...
And 18 other advanced courses.
Yeah, there's a lot more than just the Vajrayana. There's a whole series of meditation courses called Bokjimpa that were a very important. You need to get those also.
So don't be slow.
Yeah,
Hurry up.
And when we were in Kyoto, and before I teach people, Ina will have them also, and it'll be the two of us teaching. And when I was with Ina in, we and Ina were in, that's the Russian construction. When we and Ina were in, we're in Kyoto. Geshe doesn't ask a whole lot from people unless you ask him what you can do. And he very specifically asked me to teach the Vajrayana teaching. So for what that is worth.
Which is a very good news, because I remember when I first asked you, and you said, I will never be teaching to anybody except you. Okay, but I will not be teaching anybody else.
Yeah.
Our karma is better now.
Well, yeah, and so it was a big moment for me when he emphasized that he wanted me to teach that to everybody. It's
yeah. Okay, let's finish the class because we have stuff to do. So how to be the Bodhisattva, right? You practice open and secret teachings, and sometimes Bodhisattva practicing the secret teachings do not look like Bodhisattvas. Sometimes you think that they're not really Bodhisattvas, but they are.
It's a long story.
Long story, yeah. The first of these two parts, which is the Bodhisattva open teaching track, has two parts. And it is important to know why they emphasize them too, because the second two, they make actually part of the first two. So we study as Bodhisattvas 6 perfections, and it's a great subject. Boy, I love 6 paramitas, Bodhisattva perfections. Personally, I can give you a short advice, like take every single paramita, and try really to practice hard for several months, and you will see the difference. It's very interesting. So why they put 6 perfections and then 2 last perfections? I mean, we did already 6, right? The issue is before you will be able to concentrate, to get focused, like to meditate really well, and to study emptiness and to have a strong, correct view, you do not really practice the first 4. So actually, kind of you do the 6 perfections, and then you have like, I don't know, an evolutionary jump, wow, okay, this is how they need to be practiced, because they need to be practiced with focus and with wisdom. Basically, this is the trick. Really practiced. And really is a joke in our teachings, because in Madhyamika Prasangika, is there anything that exists really? And it's a bad word. It means it does not exist. Because
why don't you go through the 6 perfections for people who may not have enough?
Okay, that's a good idea. 6 perfections. What are they? First is perfection of giving. And perfection of giving, you can give material things, you can give protection, and you can give love and dharma. Because there are several definitions, right? And you can have either love in the Dharma, and sometimes you have protection allowed. So basically, let's say material stuff, right? Money, resources, protection. Protection, strange enough, means not only give somebody a shelter, like a roof on their head, but also protect other people from your anger. This is one of the connotations. Protect people, like maybe you can save a living being. Like now we have this crowds of cicadas because they have their mating season over our heads every day.
Yeah, it's been kind of fun because every 17 years a special brood of cicadas comes out, and every tree is just covered with them. And in the whole neighborhood vibrates. It sounds like a spaceship is landing. Like there's this humming noise through the whole neighborhood, and you wake up, but it's like it's a happy summer sound, right?
Yeah, very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they have a tendency to drop from the trees.
Yeah, they're all over the
on
place.
the roads, on your heads, right, Katya?
Yeah,
in the swimming pool, and we are tired. I don't know about you, my love. Katya and I, we are tired because we keep saving the cicadas.
Well, I was at the pool the other day, and the cicada landed on me because a bee was trying to get to the cicada, and then I was like, don't give me your problems. Big bodhisattva, right? You go work with the bee. That's your bad karma.
I was kicked out of the swimming pool a couple of days ago because I was thinking, it's a big swimming pool outdoor, and they land on the surface like every couple minutes. And I was like, okay, you're the last one, okay, and I'm done, and I'm leaving.
Oh, you were carrying them all out. Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
The third one is, yeah, it's very funny. Maybe you will feed somebody, right? Also a good thing. The last thing is giving these teachings. When your time will come, you will be at our place. You will be giving teachings to somebody else, and you will have to take care of your students, by the way. So this is the third perfection of giving. So the second one is perfection of ethics, morality. Basically, you keep your morality. And then the third one is patience, not patiently waiting at the bus stop, but not getting angry when your time comes.
Yeah.
Very difficult. The fourth one is
joyful effort.
Joyful effort, which does not mean work hard. It means work and be happy. If you worked hard, but you were not happy, then you didn't work, according to Ken Rinpoche.
Doing virtuous things and being happy about it.
Yeah, doing good things and be happy. Right. Together, not one or another one. Then meditation, and then wisdom. Wisdom is understanding where things come from. So when you do the first four with the second two, with focus and understanding where things are coming from, you are doing giving, morality, ethics, patience, and joyful effort. Then it becomes your bodhisattva superpower. Then it is powerful. Okay, let's go.
Right.
So we have also three kinds of morality among in this sixth perfection. There is a perfection of morality. There can be three types of morality, right? Why they're important? Because you are growing, right? You took a trampoline by subscribing to an ACI course. I swear to God, this is what it is.
So, and they'll go in this order, they'll always go in this order, right? The first one is stop drinking poison. Stop doing negative things, right? The second one is doing good things. And that comes later. It doesn't help to do good things if you've been drinking poison. It won't help much. So the first thing you have to do is stop hurting other people. Second, you start helping other people. And then third, you do it with the intention of getting them permanently out of suffering. You know, it's one thing to make dinner for somebody. It's another to make dinner for somebody with the intention that eventually somehow that's going to get them to completely out of suffering, to get them to total enlightenment. So it will go in that order always.
Okay, we had a question from Louisa about you know, different religions. They have this sacrifice rituals and how to think about it from the point of view of these teachings. And I just want to answer quickly that you need to have this book, All Kinds of Karma, because the very first yeah.
We got the light shining. It's got this gold foil on it that's shining. There we go.
Yeah, it is translated into many languages. It's translated in Russian and Ukrainian. So the very first story in this book is about what the Buddha Shakyamuni think about this sacrifice. So I really inspire you to read this first chapter. I do not want to talk about it, just read it attentively, and I think it's self-explanatory. In Russian, it is called Mnoголикая karma. In Ukrainian, it is called Усі види karma. So you can read it. Then
I think we covered that one.
We are done with 3 different kinds of morality.
We talked quite a bit about
and actually we are almost at the end of the class. Boy, I was thinking
no, we're gonna make it on time. Yep.
Yeah, doing pretty good today. So the last 2 questions are actually were painful for me because these are 2 definitions that you have to learn by heart, and you really have to. There are very few. Usually ACI is very like liberal, you know, you can just explain how you understand it. You should give correct names, but you don't have to be usually really strict how to describe it, right? But these 2 definitions are like, you should really learn by heart because every single word matters. So,
I'm going to do this one?
Yeah, when you practice these 3 trainings, this is what you can get.
Okay.
Quietude was actually, Geshe Michael does not like this word anymore. He says shamatha or single-pointed meditation, how you call it? I forgot there was another word, but actually it is about shamatha, right?
Yeah. Shamatha is the word that I've heard more often. Quietude is an old translation from the academic community in the 80s. It doesn't really get to the meaning of it. It's a little confusing. But I'll read the definition. That single.
You can read it there.
Okay, yeah, I can. I don't need the glasses for that. That single-mindedness, which is imbued with the exceptional bliss of practiced ease, due to deep single-pointed meditation on its object. So that's shamatha in Sanskrit, shanay in Tibetan, and for whatever reason, people that I've known who've been Geshe Michael's students tend to use the term shamatha more often than shanay, for whatever reason. Same thing, synonyms. And so what happens as you get shamatha, you have, this physical bliss comes with it first, early on. Like when you first start meditating, your body hurts, right? Particularly when I was doing it, initially, I hadn't done much yoga, and so my body hurt, back pain, knee pain, everything hurts. You'll get an itch, it's just like your body's a major obstacle early on. And then as your mind quiets down, and Geshe talked about it in the class, so I'll talk a little bit about it. There's something underlying your physical body, more subtle than your breath. It's called prana. You've probably heard about it if you've been anywhere in the yoga world. It's similar. I have not studied the Chinese system, but qi, when the Chinese talk about qi, it's the same thing. And so there's these winds. Prana it's like more subtle than light, the way light is more subtle than a brick. So it's still physical, it's still there, but it's extremely subtle. And your thoughts are writing on the prana. And it's a link between your thoughts and the physical world. It's where it's where that's happening. And as your mind settles down, your thoughts settle down and they start flowing more smoothly. And the prana is flowing throughout your whole body. And you'll talk about that at great length in the advanced teachings. But as your winds start flowing more smoothly, the pain leaves. And then when the pain leaves, there's also like this kind of bliss that comes up out of it. And so you're very happily sitting there for an hour, 2 hours. It's just your body's not a problem. And then you get to a deeper level where there's a joy that arises up in your mind, and like a mental bliss. They call it physical and mental pliancy. Physical and mental pliancy. You have the ability to use your body and your mind. It's you can direct it. It's more, you have more control over it, and less suffering, a lot less suffering. And so that happens when you get shamatha, the physical and mental pliancy, this ability to use your body and your mind. And it's related to prana. And so it's very different than when you first start meditating, frankly.
So why we need this pliancy, right, of the body and mind? We need to direct, like all of what we were talking about was has actually a goal, right? And I mean, we all have the same purpose, right? I mean, we are born same way, we die same way. Do you think we have different purposes? So, and this is actually to understand how this reality works, to develop a tool to really explore it and find out the most powerful mind laser or something, and then you direct it onto the correct object and boom, and you make this evolutionary jump, right? And you're not a human anymore, and you are on the way to stop not only your suffering, your pain, but also everybody else. And this is vipassana, right? All these things, all these meditation hours, all these studies, they are in order to get this insight, but insight is actually better probably to say realization, right?
Yeah, they're talking about the direct perception of emptiness.
Yeah.
And so the formal definition
of this meditation,
of vipassana, that wisdom which is full of the exceptional bliss of practice ease by power of the analysis of its object, and which is founded upon quietude. Shamatha. Founded upon shamatha. So you get shamatha, and then you use it to have the direct perception of emptiness. But that's the formal definition of it there.
Yeah. And this is the purpose of your meditation. This is why you want to meditate. And if you have other purposes, then I mean, you can meditate, but honestly,
well, there's nothing wrong with using meditation to get rid of your problems on a conventional level, right?
Nothing wrong.
Yeah.
If you have this goal as the main one, right?
And then the only problem with that is if you're using it to eliminate your anger, your meditation to eliminate your anger, it's not a permanent cessation. You still have, it's like you've ripped the weed out of the ground. But the roots are still there, even if it's just a little bit, and it will eventually come back, or you're going to have to just keep ripping it out. But the roots are still going to be there until you've had the direct perception of emptiness. And that's when you've pulled the problem out entirely, never to come back again.
Okay. And this is the end of the class. Thank you, everybody. All the translators, all the technical assistants, Yelena Smirnova, who was coordinating, Alina Bereshkov, who did the nice PPTs, everybody. If I do not name you, it does not mean we do not love you. We love everybody, and please come to see us. We will do the interviews with meetings with volunteers again.
And eventually we'd like to do this in some kind of live format where it would be easier, but we'll see. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So what will happen next is now we would like to first we want to tell you then in half an hour there will be a vows ceremony. So if you want to get your vows, please come. Second, I want to say that in September we will do ACI 4. And we are thinking about the format. Maybe we will do just once a week or twice a week to make it easier for us and for volunteers. We're still thinking about the format. And what else? Yeah, for the meditation, you didn't get your meditation, so we will announce additionally, we will do a class on meditation, right?
Yes, I want to put together, there's Geshe reached shamatha really early. What happens when you've had the direct perception of emptiness in a prior life? When you get to this life, you regain the ability to do that quickly. And so he was like, what was he, 23? He was 23 years old when he had the direct perception of emptiness. And so he reached shamatha quickly, had the direct perception of emptiness quickly, and you're going to need more instruction on how to reach shamatha to do it quickly yourself than what's here in the ACI courses. He did it relatively easy, and so he doesn't go into great detail on how to get through each one of the 9 stages. And the good news is that information is available, and I want to take people through it so that you can learn how to do it yourself in the comfort and convenience of your own home. That used to be a saying in America in the ads, in the advertisements on TV. You can do this in the comfort and convenience of your own home.
Right. So stay tuned, and in half an hour we will do Bodhisattva vows. And now we want to thank our volunteers, right, Lena?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Hey.
Watching all the photographs of people makes me wonder if men are allowed to volunteer. Maybe women are just more filled with wisdom than the guys are. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, see you in half an hour for ceremony. Who will participate?